McLaughlin Planetarium is finally being demolished after 3 decades of sitting idle. And in front of me here is the Royal Ontario Museum, a very iconic and odd structure. A lot of mixed feelings about this building here on the corner of Bloor Street West and Queen's Park. But today I am headed to a place that holds a lot of nostalgia for some of us as I head south here on Queen's Park Crescent in the heart of Toronto. And the Toronto Planetarium opened up back in 1968, and for close to 27 years it was open to the public using a projection system which modeled planets, the stars, and the solar system. And for a lot of us who reside in Toronto our whole lives, a lot of school field trips took place there, and a lot of us, our first introduction to space was here at the Toronto McLaughlin Planetarium, which sits just behind the Royal Ontario Museum. And this planetarium was very popular during its 27 years. It brought in close to 6 million visitors and a lot of money. It closed in 1995 thanks to Mike Harris, the Premier of Ontario, who was doing provincial budget cuts and decided that this planetarium here no longer was necessary. And it is a iconic mid-century structure. It is a hemispherical dome. And after 30 years of sitting here idle, it is finally the end of an era. Sadly so, a number of folks in the city tried to get historical designation for this iconic mid-century building. And the planetarium was named after Colonel Samuel McLaughlin, who donated $2 million such that this building could be created here in Toronto. And during the 1950s and 60s, when the space race was taking off between the United States and Russia, people became more obsessed with what is out there in the stars, in the galaxy. And so this was a premier spot for space and astronomy education And I am going to head onto the UFT campus, and UFT did purchase the planetarium in 2009, and they're finally starting their construction, and they plan on building a 6-story building that will become a part of the University of Toronto, which is the campus that is adjacent to the abandoned Toronto Planetarium. But when this building opened up back in 1968, UFT donated the land, and the Royal Ontario Museum ran the programs about space inside. And the McLaughlin Planetarium had 4 floors, and it had 361 seats. And as you can see, demolition is already begun on this site here on Queen's Park Crescent. And the 4 floors specialized in space exhibits. And during the 80s and 90s, they also introduced laser shows. The main attraction was the 83-foot high dome ceiling, and it was equipped with a Zeiss projector. And the projector displayed stars, planets, and astronomical phenomenons. Over the years, this planetarium, which is now abandoned, was really an introduction to space for a lot of young people. The Premier of Ontario put an axe to funding the Toronto McLaughlin Planetarium, one of the only planetariums here in Toronto. No following government decided to reinstate the funding. And the dome itself is such an iconic building, and a lot of people from younger generations really walk by this building not knowing the history and the memories that this building has for many of us here in the city.